Hello my friends, Chandra Zas, Zen Odyssey. This week's topic, I am covering the unknowns and uncertainty and how to create certainty amidst all the unknowns. My personal story, why this topic is up for me, comes from my life and also from my clients' lives. The world is seeming and feeling really full of unknowns, and my world is also that way. And so I did some coaching with my coach this week that gave me some good insights and perspectives, and I wanted to share them with all of you guys. So my story is that my man, for those of you who don't know, is technically an officer on a cruise ship, and our life screeched to a halt when the pandemic, when Corona hit the world, and we have been mostly doing quite well and adapting to all of the changes, but there is a looming possibility and quite probable probability that he will be going to do a contract somewhere in the world, most likely an island, but the details don't really matter. Well, those details don't matter. The details that do matter is that he will go by himself, which we used to go to all together, and Corona is out there, and with all of the people and with all the airports, there's more exposures, you all know. And it means that I will be somewhat of a single mom for a period of time. And there is the chance that maybe we won't be able to be reunited when we want to, whether it's because his contract will be extended, because people can't fly, or whether he can't get back into the country that I'm in. These are all unknowns and things that are on my mind I've actually been trying to not think about them, and I've been kind of trying to avoid them. And they keep kind of percolating up for me. They keep kind of like eating away at me a little bit. And so this week with my coach, I decided to kind of face the elephant in my room. And we went through the worst case scenario. And a comforting thought that I used to feel or used to think that would make me feel good was, I'll be okay. It'll be okay. But that sentence has changed for me. Now I kind of question what okay really is. What does that really mean? So that thought that used to be useful for me doesn't really grab me and doesn't feel useful to me anymore. So we went to like worst case scenario, all of the worst parts of that, what I just shared with you, what are all the worst pieces of that, and then what? And then what do I do with what's left? And I was able to get to a place where I realized that given all the worst case scenarios, I know what I do know amongst all of the uncertainties, amongst all the unknowns. What I do know is that I believe in myself to do my best with whatever is thrown my way. And that thought is something that brings me groundedness and certainty. And you're more than welcome to borrow it and try it on and see if it helps you in your life. And how you know if it helps you is if it evokes a feeling for you. Because we can hear other thoughts and we can borrow other thoughts, but until they actually create a feeling for us, then they don't really do much for us. Spinning out in stress and worry about the future, about all of the things that I cannot control and that I do not know, is a big waste of time. And also a big waste of my energy, a big waste of my mental bandwidth, and it is draining. And when we live in worry and stress, which are both indulgent emotions, not only is it not useful to our lives, but it also affects our digestive system, it affects our immune system, it lowers our physical health. In addition to lowering our physical health, it also has an impact on our brain. When our primal brain is pushing out fear-based emotions, it stops our prefrontal problem-solving part of our brain from solving problems. So when we're in this constant state of fear and worry about the future, it actually kind of blocks us off from really seeing what options we have. So there's a couple reasons that it's really important to learn how to do this mental management, to learn how to really face and look at what's going on and uncover the thoughts that are creating the stress and the worry, and really looking at what's really underneath there, talk to the primal brain, what's really worth paying attention to, and then learning how to manage that primal brain and focus on in places that we can have an impact and the places that we can control. And one of the most important places that we have control, if not the only place that we have control, is over our thoughts. And it really matters because that's where all of our emotions come from anyway. So many of us get into the trap of trying to control external things, trying to control the world around us, trying to control everything else besides what we actually can control, which is our mind and our thoughts. It's really, really powerful work. And everybody I talked to as we changed planes tickets yesterday for the 6th time in the last 6 months, I was even talking to the woman on the phone, and every single person I talked to, including the person on the phone trying to help me change my flight, is swimming in this really big amount of unknowns and uncertainties. And I have noticed that there's a certain shift that's happened in the last few weeks where I think a lot of people are understanding that this unknown and this uncertainty is kind of here to stay for a little while. And I've really been questioning, like, is there more uncertainty and unknown than before? Or are we just more now aware of it? And I think that this latter one is really the truth, is that now we're just all more aware of how many more unknowns there are. Maybe there's not more unknowns. Maybe it just, our brain is more aware of the unknowns. And because we're more aware of it, it has that much more ammunition for our primal brain, who's trying to help us survive, is just giving us all of these worst case scenario thought options. So I hope that is insightful for you guys, and I even hope that maybe there is a little bit of a warm blanket that I can send your way, that I can wrap you up in seeing and knowing where our actual control over our experience of life really lies. And try that thought on, try it on. I will do my best to deal with whatever comes my way. So try that thought on, because that is where we can create certainty and even confidence and empowerment in ourselves, in our ability. And it's also where we can act from our highest good and from our best problem-solving space. I hope that's a warm blanket your way, and stay tuned for more next week. Thank you so much, as always, for being here. Have a beautiful week. Amidst all of the unknowns, amidst all of the uncertainties, we can do it. We will do it. It's what we do.